Welcome, everybody, to Schofield Flowers Social Hour, episode 24. Enjoy the show. Hey, everyone. Steve Schofield here. As you know, they call me Scof. Welcome to Schofield's Flowers Social Hour.
Aloha, and I'm Chris Fratterigo. People call me Fratty.
Fratty, what the hell are you doing? You're in Hawaii?
Mentally, yes. You know, I'm in my tiki bar here. Had to relocate from the last episodes, to my tiki bar because I'm very excited for today's episode.
Oh my God, Tiki Tony, huh?
Yeah, Tiki Tony's in the house. I mean, I think LC King was definitely one of those where when you told me we were having him on, I was so excited. And for me personally, getting Tiki Tony on was something I would have never thought of when we started this up. But I am so excited to have him on as an artist and fan of his. And I think it was one of the best interviews we had. It was such a good time.
Yeah, and he felt the same way. I mean, he was like, well, I just felt like I was sitting around chatting with a bunch of my friends, and it was really, really nice to hear. He's an amazing artist. I can't even tell you. Ever since going to the tiki bar that we went to, and what's the name of that place? I ask you every time in San Diego for your
False Idol.
False Idol. Oh my God, great! For any of you who haven't been to False Idol, you got to go check it out in San Diego. You get you're sitting in the middle of a real volcano when you get your drink. So yeah, fantastic. So I think it's going to be, I think everybody's going to really enjoy the show. They're great gifts for 2021. I think that he's backlogged right now because he is so busy. But, we got Valentine's coming up. There's just a lot of cool things that are happening. And yeah, so what else you been up
to? Working out, as we talked about on the last episode, been playing some hockey, although it's, today when we're recording, it's there's a fire out here again, so probably not going to be able to go outside, for a day or two here. So that's going to put some setback on my pre-New Year's resolution to work out and get back into shape.
Oh God, yeah, no, I've been riding that bike, and I'm going out for a meeting right after this. I got my LC King wear on, loving it. I feel so comfortable in it and everything. So, well, let's turn it over to Tiki Tony.
All right.
Show. Thank you.
Scof, who else do we got with us today?
We have the beautiful Nicola Angelos.
Hey guys.
SHAGBAGG.
So excited today.
And who's our guest today, Fratty? I know you brought him on and excited to meet him.
Absolutely. We got Tiki Tony.
Woo-hoo! We need some
streamers.
Tiki Tony in the house.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Tony, for most of our viewers, I would say a lot of them are, in the true crime and vast background still, though. So they may have not had a chance to learn of you and your work. Love to get a quick, background on who you are and what you do.
I'm Tiki Tony. I started carving tikis when I was about 17.
Wow.
Mainly because I started surfing about that time, and I was looking at the history of surfing, and I had this little booklet. I don't remember where I got it, but it was like history of surfing in Hawaii, and it mentioned tikis. And as like 16, 17-year-old, I was like, oh my God, that sounds so cool. And I had been, to the tiki room at Disneyland and stuff, but that was kind of my only introduction to tiki. So then when I started looking up oceanic art history, tikis and things in history books, I was just blown away. I'm like, oh my God, these are so cool. And the internet was like, this was like 96 or 95. So there was no real internet to kind of search for stuff. So I literally I was like, I got to carve my own. So I got a pocket knife and driftwood, and I would carve little tikis on the beach. And I was so hooked. I was like immediately drawn into this world of like living this fantasy, living on a beach and like carving tikis. And it just stuck with me. And I mean, that was 20 something years ago. I'm 41 now, so I don't know the math.
Well, I think that story kind of rings true for a lot of people in one version of a way, where it's like you start your head goes somewhere else once you start going down the rabbit hole of tiki, and you go to a bar and it's like that escapism, and I love like the no windows, and it's like your own little world, and all of a sudden you step outside and depending on the time of the day, it was light out and now it's dark, or you went in there and it was light and you got adjusted to what was going on. You're in this own realm, and then you step outside and it's bright out and you're like, whoa, where am I? What's going on? Like it really becomes this, fantasy dream, for the, couple hours that, wherever it is that you're at a tiki bar. And then once I learned about the community of, the different events and the online that it is now, it's easy to stay in tune with what's going on.
Definitely. And I think that's probably what helped me keep going. After, let's see, about 4 years of carving little stuff to bigger stuff, I was selling at a swap meet when I was, I guess, 18, selling my big palm carved tikis. And someone was like, have you heard of Tiki Central? And I'm like, no, by then this was 2002. So internet was like a little bit more grown up. And then I found a community of people who were all into tiki, and that was super cool. And then I found the Book of Tiki, written by Sven Kirsten, and then I think a year later I met him. But yeah, the community is really cool, and I think that's what kind of I don't know, inspired a lot of artists in the early revival, in the early 2000s or so.
Very cool. How interesting.
Yeah. When you started to talk about true crime, Fratty, I looked up Tiki Killers, and it came to Tiki Killers medicated gummies.
Oh, I guess. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Any tiki killers.
Yeah, but, there are some good gummies out there, it looks like. That's so funny.
I wonder if there's like any maybe like, kind of that 1950s, tiki architecture that happened with like LA. Like there's a bunch of places that have that tiki vibe, and it's an apartment complex. I wonder if there's any like crazy true crime that's happened at those places.
Who knows? Probably. I love all that old architecture. Oh, nice glass there.
Oh yeah, I know a guy.
So when I was going to, I was getting my graduate degree and my teaching credential at Northridge, and there were some cool tiki apartments near there. And I remember hearing from Sven in the early days when he would find all these old tiki apartment buildings, he would literally just look for the tallest palm trees and then go to those places. And usually it was like some sort of old tiki restaurant or
oh wow
apartment or something. So,
yeah, because there's a lot of like A-frame style like openings to an apartment complex. If you drive through like West Side LA and kind of in that Melrose area.
Yeah, a lot of really neat stuff. I was just watching Cobra Kai, the like redo of Karate Kid, and I didn't even realize that in the original Karate Kid, he's like lives in an old school tiki apartment, but by the 80s it's like run down, but it still has like the waterfall and everything. But they revisit it in the new one.
That's right, yeah, because they kind of like went back to his like they kind of like reversed it where Johnny's like in the rundown spot now, and so yeah, that's pretty funny though.
Yeah.
So you have a, I guess, unique background from for a career wise. You started out as a teacher and ended up as a tiki artist and business owner. I guess, how did that transition happen?
I was always an artist, so I thought like the easiest, safest thing to do was kind of be a teacher. And then 5 years into teaching, I got a pink slip, so I was let go.
Oh.
And it was right around the last kind of economy slump. So yeah, that was a huge bummer. We had just bought this house, and then it was like being let go. So in the meantime, my father-in-law owned a pool cleaning business, so I cleaned pools for 5 years. And that was probably crucial for me being able to do this full time, because if I was just a teacher, my pay would have slowly increased. It would have been super stable. But as a pool guy, I'm like, I had more flexibility, and I would take like Fridays off and then work on tiki stuff. And then the tiki thing was just growing and growing, especially because, well, talk about it later probably, but Trader Sam's and that whole thing kind of boosted tiki a lot. So I was working maybe 1 to 2 days a week on tiki stuff, but I was making more money doing that than cleaning pools 4 days a week. And
Wow.
cleaning pools in like the hot summer, it was brutal. It taught me a lot of things, taught me, you know, like hard work will pay off as long as you figure out something smarter to do. But it was a good jump from there.
Yeah, no, and I think that's kind of a good lesson for just the way we're in right now. I know, like myself, you know, pretty much just being home while you know, waiting for music to come back because I work in the music industry, so we have no concerts going on. I've kind of went back to making some leather goods that I used to be working on, so I've spent more time practicing my craft, and so I'm making some wallets and belts and, you know, some, you know, little items there. And I mean, I was just too busy before, you know, all this to do it, and it's a great job. I love my job, but you know, who knows what, you know, I can maybe pivot to with this as even a side business that once we start going again, I could still do my leather, that now that I've had some time to really put in the effort to do it. You know, sometimes you need that unfortunate, you know, time off of the grind to you know, start something that you've always wanted to do.
Totally. Yeah. If like I said, teaching was so brutal. I thought teaching was going to be easier because all I thought was like, yeah, I get like summers off. This is going to be great. But I was so burnt out and it was so tiring that like when June came around, I was just like, I couldn't like wake up till July. So yeah, it was brutal. Sorry, my dog is down here. He really wants to be.
Gosh, who is it?
Yeah.
Hey, Bob.
Oh,
My goodness.
So he's, I don't know why, maybe he didn't get fed.
That'll happen.
Have you, I have to ask you, Tony, I'm looking at your site, the Tiki Land Trading Company and that, and then talking about pivoting in that. Have you guys, like, I see events and everything, which has been like non-existent now, with especially what's happening. Have you done any online, like mixology type of drinks where people join in and pay X amount for the hour and learn how to do something like that?
It's funny, we talked about that. Our main guy, Kelly Merrill, who he's let's see, what's the term? Well, cast member, but they call them skippers at Trader Sam's. So he's been doing our cocktails, and for a while we were talking about doing that, a show. And actually, I'll have to talk to my business partner and see where that was at. But yeah, we were totally going to do that with Kelly.
Yeah, we just had a young lady on from. They were at the Jumbo's Clown Room, and she's a stripper. Yeah, I might as well say it. She's a stripper.
That's what she likes to be called.
What do you want to be called? The dancer, stripper stuff? I'm a stripper. I'm like, great. But they started the cyber clown room girls. Right?
Yeah.
And I mean, they were killing it. There was like, I jumped on. It's a donation from $5 to $20, and I put in the 20, of course, and then didn't realize they're going to be hitting you up for like tips, like if they were dancers, how you throw your dollars out on the floor. So if I took my left, I spent $100, and I spent 140, and I didn't even win. The guy ahead of me, they announced the lead guy, right? Or girl.
Wow.
Is that how this podcast works?
You got some tips coming your way.
Got some gummies, gummies
exactly,
coming in. We're going to get
exactly.
gummies around the house.
Yeah, the gummies.
Oh my gosh.
You're stripping, you're going to be teaching cocktails. This is going to be a party.
Yeah.
I think where Scof was going with this is
Exactly.
very similar to what I've seen with. Yeah, I mean, your call, but you know.
I always misread things.
But I've seen a lot of artists now where they're finding ways like Twitch and other platforms to still perform live via, you know, virtual. And what's unique about it is basically they now get to keep 100% of, you know, the profits, whereas when you have it at a venue, you're basically splitting and profit share and ticket sales and this and that and the other, and they're finding ways to stay relevant and connect with the fans when there's kind of a abundance of need for entertainment. And I've seen a couple other places that typically have done like a cocktail dinner night where they would teach you how to make, like, it'd be like a rum night, a whiskey night, a peril night, different kinds of liquors. And then you'd have a dinner, and they moved it on to online. So now anyone, around the world could jump on, whereas before it was out of Costa Mesa. You had to go to Costa Mesa to do it. And I think with most liquor laws kind of being relaxed and changed, they can actually ship you the ingredients you would need, and you could do it. So, doing some sort of Tiki Land cocktail class could be a great way to engage the Tiki community. If you're not a home bartender, I got my little bar cart going and my mugs and all that. But, for some people, they like to go to the bars and have them do all the, fun and games and work there. But here's a chance for you to do it yourself while, we don't have those options.
Yeah. Oh, I love that idea. Yeah. I'm gonna have to bring that back up and see where we're at with that.
Long story short, we would like to sign up for it. So if you could get that going.
Well, I don't know Tiki the drinks. I'm a more of a vodka and gin. And
He shouldn't even be.
I shouldn't even. But I have the shirt, the hat, and I did pour a damn good.
Nice,
and I got
rum.
Zaya. I got the new Zaya rum. Well, not new. It's probably.
Oh, nice. Oh, nice. I'm jealous.
Zaya. Her
I'm gonna go pour her a drink.
Zaya. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So speaking of which, Tony, what are maybe some favorite bars that you've been to, or maybe seen online that you would love to get to when you get the opportunity?
Oh man, I mean, the ultimate holy grail of tiki bars is in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, the Mai Kai.
Yeah.
It's like incredible. It's have you've been there?
I haven't. It's pretty much my bucket list of, ones to get to.
It's incredible. It's like it's a temple, and it's like room after room of amazing detail. And Leroy Schmaltz, who he still carves at Oceanic Arts in Whittier, California. Wow. He carved a lot of the things from that place. He's like 80 something, and he's still like carving. It's incredible.
That's awesome.
It's so cool. But that place is amazing. Like, it's super dark. It's like, although, I mean, now I saw they had to close recently for some water damage. So they're kind of probably taking the coronavirus thing as a time to kind of work on stuff that they couldn't normally work on anyway. Mm-hmm. But then you had mentioned False Idol in San Diego. That place is awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
And I think one of my favorite things has always been kind of almost that Disneyland funness to it. Obviously Trader Sam's has it. When you order a shipwreck, the ship, goes, or you got the volcano. Another one that I saw is Undertow in Phoenix. Oh yeah. It has like portholes on the side. So as you're just sitting there, it's as if you're going down like a Amazon River. And then every so often, like, the lights go out, and all of a sudden they play a sound of like a dart being thrown, and then a spotlight goes onto this dart that's always been there, but you've never noticed it until they did that. Oh my God, that's so good. So it's almost like a drink in a show instead of a dinner in a show. It's like a drink in a show, and it's just like, I don't know, it just has that like Disney magic to it. And obviously, Trader Sam's does it so well. But to be able to have that at other places, False Idol has a little bit of that. I've always like envisioned, like, if I ever owned my own bar, like, you got to have some sort of like Disney magic in it. Yeah, that place is amazing. One of the owners of Undertow, Jason Asher, I think he's really creative that way, and kind of, I know he's worked with Thor. You guys familiar with Thor? He's like tiki artist, but they've been doing some amazing stuff. I think the Undertow, I think they had to relocate it. Did you? I don't know what I know, because it's in a former like Valvoline oil change kind of a setup. So you actually, where the workers would go down to do your oil change is where the bar's located, inside of a coffee shop. But then next door they got another spot, and it's like more of like a whiskey bar. and they have a train that's inside of it, and you go in there and it's like as if you're riding a train. Again, it has like the LED screen, so you're sitting there like at a bar in a train, just like going around. So they've done some really cool stuff just in the overall bar scene.
That's super cool. It's when they were opening that place, there's like 4 big tikis they wanted me to carve in there. But at the time I was a pool guy and I couldn't take even like a few days off to go out there and carve them. So that was one of my regrets. I'm like, someday when I'm full time, I'll be able to do what I want.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
funny.
that place is amazing.
Funny you were still living that like pool guy lifestyle.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
still outdoor by the pool and the mindset, but like you know, and
It's so
going to
funny.
your craft on the weekend before it turn full time. Yeah.
That's
Well,
great.
one of the reasons why I also was adamant about being on this show is I'm originally from Florida and I grew up in a seafood restaurant and going down to Key West and, you know, just that vibe and everything like that. And I'm from the East Coast originally, but like small town, Ernest Hemingway vibes. And yeah, so just appreciate the art so much.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Florida is like, the first time I went to Florida was for the Hukilau, and yeah, it was like a neat and different sort of tiki vibe than out here on the West Coast, but I loved it.
Definitely. I feel like out on the West Coast, I can see more of the Hawaiian influences and yeah, more like South Pacific vibes where over there it's, you know, probably more like Havana and old school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Caribbean kind of stuff. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, even brighter colors and stuff, except for the hi. my little daughter. Here, come say hi.
Oh yeah.
Hey.
Have her say hi.
Yeah.
Looks like she just got out of a bath. Can you say hi?
Hey, welcome.
Hi, honey.
Hello.
How are you?
Can you tell them your name?
My name is Violet.
Hey, Violet.
Nice to meet you, Violet.
Can you say bye-bye?
Well, what's their name?
That's a great question. How rude.
All right.
I agree. I'm Nicola.
I'm Steve.
And I'm Chris.
Yay. Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
A man named Chris.
We have another man. My
Nice.
good friend's name is Chris. All right.
Oh,
Sounds like a good guy.
yeah. That's so cute, man. Is that
Yeah.
do you have one child or do you have a couple?
Two, yeah. We got
Another one.
she's 4, and then we got another one who's almost 2. Her name is Isla.
Nice.
So, yeah, we got the full troop.
Love the names.
Nice.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, really good.
I'd like to take credit, but my wife is genius of that.
Nice.
You know, Tony, we've been kind of talking more in general about stuff going on, but what I guess are some of the works and things you got going on, you know, as an artist that you could share with us?
So I think I was telling you, we got a bunch of mugs. I wish we could show more of the mugs. I do have one of the ones we released fairly
So
recently.
Oh my
So,
God. That's
we
so
got-
beautiful.
The Sunbathing Bertha.
I'd probably walk up and
Nice.
try and grab a bite of it
So
because I thought it would be a
cute.
chocolate whatever, right?
Oh God, I'm a chocoholic. I wish it was chocolate.
Beautiful.
So these are really rad. These were sculpted by my buddy Thor, who works with me, and it's really awesome. I get to draw the stuff I wish I could sculpt, and then he sculpts it for me. But,
What a great partnership.
Oh, that's
yeah. So
Cool.
the detail on this, I actually put a whole bunch of straws in this. I got the fake ice in there. It never melts.
Nice.
Nice.
nice. Well, we did a
anyway,
collaboration.
Cool.
We just did a collaboration on a smoking jacket,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, I mean, her designs are fantastic, and I just like, God, I always wanted to make a smoking jacket. She's like, let's do it, and here we are, and we made a most beautiful sheet
Yeah, made
designed,
it up.
and she made it up, and
Oh, that's cool.
talked about it, and
Yeah.
what colors, and what we should do, and a collab. That's what we did. It was fantastic. I mean, I can't be more proud of what we.
I've
Dude.
always wondered, like, where does that term smoking jacket come from?
Well, his daughter told me for the first time. I didn't know either. And it was basically back in like the Mad Men era when husbands would be smoking and having their martinis or whatever after work, and they would put it on over their suit so that the wife wouldn't smell the smoke. Or when they come to dinner, they would, they wouldn't have the smoke on them essentially because it would have been whatever absorbed by the jacket.
That makes sense. Oh, that's super cool.
Here, I'll show you a picture.
Oh yeah, that's him.
Oh, that is right. Oh.
Yeah.
Hang on.
But
there it is. But then I'll show you Nicola because she looks much nicer in it. You see?
That is super cool. What's the imagery on there?
They're flowers since it's Schofield's flowers. They're blue roses.
Flowers, blue roses.
Oh, that's super cool.
Yeah. And it was fun. I mean, it was like, we got some nice orders and everything. And I just, I think the world of it. I mean, it's just like, what a fantastic job. And first, here's Nick. Look at her. She looks far better. So unisex. So guy orders it, girl takes it.
Yeah.
Right?
That's cool.
But I saw that ship on Friday night when I was checking the site out, and I feel like I'm going to float down the river in Adventureland.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I even added like claw marks here, like something.
Well, I got my piranha pin, and I went full zebra. So I feel like I'm like in, the tiki room or in the Jungle Cruise right now. So.
Yeah.
I always try to live like I'm in Adventureland.
I wish.
So good. And then Bertha, I can already see her squirting the water out of her nose on the cruise.
Yeah. This was so much fun. I mean, my whole life I've loved elephants, so it was like, it was a dream to be able to. My wife and I used to make the tiki mugs all ourselves for like 10 years or so, and she was a better sculptor than me, and she would sculpt most of my stuff. And then once we kind of like, I always wanted to do more. Is that me?
No,
is that your baby?
That's my little one.
Your wife. Is that your wife? I always
never know.
Fratty. I always see Fratty. The kid's crying. His kid is crying. I'm like, is that the wife?
But anyway.
Oh. What was that?
Oh, you're right. Once you guys, she's a great carver.
Yeah, my wife is a great sculptor, but we couldn't do his realistic stuff, but now we can, working with my buddy Thor. He's just incredible. So it's super fun.
It looks like it. My God.
Yeah. I mean, like all the little texture and
so insanely cute.
So is that like a limited edition? I mean, how many, or will always be up there, and if somebody wants it, you already have the mold? Is that what you guys do? You carve it, you put it into a molding, and then it gets built like that?
Yeah. I mean, we these ones we're having made overseas. So So I mean, right now we're just basically making kind of what's pre-sold, and then after that, then we just move on to new designs. I don't think we're going to keep continuing, doing the same designs. Just to keep it fresh and to keep it so it's special.
I think something that I've noticed is like the mugs end up becoming its own like currency. Like some mugs become like so coveted, and then like you buy them for normal, what I'd consider normal pricing, somewhere in that like $50 to $200 mark, and then next thing you know, like they're worth like $500 just because it became one of those designs someone really wanted, and people are always trying to get them because they sold out super quick or whatever. And so it's kind of fun to see on the on some different groups that I follow, like the mug trading and what those markups are, and you're like, holy cow, like you could have got that on for a fraction of the cost, and if you held on to it for a few years, it just gained its like momentum, and next thing you know, it's worth like so much more. Not that I'm not really into that, side of the tiki mugs. I use mine and I drink out of them and I enjoy them. And unfortunately, there's been a few casualties of them, but you just move on to the next one. Kind of like you said, it's like, all right, well, I didn't have room on my shelf anyway, so I guess now I can get that one I've always wanted.
Yeah, no, that is a surprise for sure. And like originally, before I hooked up with Tiki Land, I was doing pre-sales because I didn't kind of know like how many to make, and I I wanted to make enough so that everyone who wanted them would get them, thinking that would like alleviate the jacked up prices after. But then it still happened. So then, yeah, it's cool that, you know, us tiki mug artists are a part of something that a lot of people want, and it's growing. So yeah, I guess we'll meet that threshold. I don't know about $1,000 mugs yet.
You never know. You never know.
Was each one like you have a specific carving knife like a sculptor would use, and it's clay, and then you
For different stuff like that's my wife and I, that's what we did.
wood, right? But or is it clay now because you're you're making more tikis? How do you
Oh wait, for the mugs specifically, or for the
yeah, for the mugs or for like the elephant one?
so that one he digitally sculpted that.
Oh wow.
So and then we have a super high resolution resin printer, and then
Wow.
it like yeah, and when you're so I started doing a little digital sculpting, thinking like it's digital, how hard can it be? It's harder than real sculpting. So I'm
Wow.
like,
Oh yeah, I've seen some people doing like Photoshop projects where it's like you could make this in real life so much easier than
yeah,
drawing it on like 100 different layers to get the different grains and textures and all that stuff that they do. It's
yeah,
crazy.
it's
But
insane.
your CAD
So,
file no different than a car.
Yeah.
yeah, makes sense.
Great.
Yeah.
So yeah, we 3D print it, and then the method after that is the same method that they've been using for thousands of years. You make a plaster mold, and then from that plaster mold, you pour in liquid clay. Liquid clay dries just along the edge where it's touching the plaster, because the plaster sucks the moisture out. And then you pour the liquid out, and you're left with like a shell of what becomes the hollow mug. And that's,
Wow.
I mean, essentially it's been the same for, you know, thousands of years. So it's pretty cool.
That was the part I always wondered, is how the whole is made.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. It's like magic shell ice cream.
Right.
You know, speaking of cars and something that you've created, you know, I'd love to kind of hear what, you know, came about with the Land Rover, how that project became something. And because I love seeing, you know, you're driving it around and seeing it in person. It's like it's that Disney magic when it's, you know, parked up and the smoke's coming out of it and everything.
So that seriously is like a dream come true. I have
Yeah, that was
a 1964 Chevelle Malibu convertible that my parents gave me when I was basically 16.
Cool.
And that was like I loved it. It was an awesome car. And I remember telling my wife, like, the only thing I think I could ever trade or sell this for would be a Land Rover, a vintage Land Rover. And then like a year later or so, I drew like my dream Land Rover with like racks and like cargo all over it. And then I posted it on Instagram, and a friend who I kind of knew her, she's like, I have that exact car. She's like, I inherited that car and a bunch of cars. It's been sitting for over 20 years. If you can get it running and get it to look like your drawing, you can have it for free. I'm like, no,
What?
this doesn't happen. So
Wow.
went and checked it out. It was out at a field like up in Upper Ventura, kind of near Ojai.
That's crazy.
And
So cool.
it was crazy. It was sitting there. And then maybe a month or two later, I trailered it home. I found a mechanic who worked on my other car. And then over the course of like 2 months, he got it running, and we redid the brakes and everything. And that was almost 3 years ago. And I drive it probably almost every other day. And
Oh
it's
God, that's
Wow,
great. That's
that's
great.
rad.
a dream. So I also had my buddy Typhoon Tommy.
I love these names.
I'm Machine Gun Scof.
So Typhoon Tommy, I forget how he got the nickname, but
Typhoon Tommy.
he's actually from Florida, but he works for
Okay.
Disney and Universal. He does like faux finish painting and
Cool.
all sorts of construction stuff. So he did the faux finish rust paint job all over it. And
Wow.
then my buddy Trader Brandon.
Love it. I want a tiki name. Okay.
Yeah.
So Trader Brandon was the Imagineer behind Trader Sam's. So he helped me with like getting cool vintage cargo and stuff for it. And they both worked together at Walt Disney World, and then
Cool.
then they went to Universal, and yeah. So anyway, so they helped me get it going, and
Oh,
at first I was like, I don't know if I could rust paint this, because I come from the classic car world where it's like you get the car perfect and glossy and smooth, and then once he started putting the rust on, I was like, that's it. Like it brought you into that escapist world of like adventure, and it can be parked anywhere. Like when I take it out places and there's like people looking at it, they're like, did this really come from the jungles? Because I have like a license plate from Guatemala. I'm just like, oh yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So let me ask you, do you have a collection of cups that, like, if you were, do you know by any chance, have you been to Caravan Outpost?
No, never heard. Where?
So in Ojai. So
Oh, I've heard of this place, but no, I've never been.
so it's Brad Stewart. He owned Nixon, or he was an investor in Nixon. He owned Bonfire Snowboards. We're going to be talking to him later today, but he has the greatest like glamping, type of place. It's 11 Airstreams and one small tiny house that he rents out in Ojai, and it's the #1 selling hotel in Ojai, in the region.
Oh my God.
And I mean, $350 a night, and it's set up so beautiful. I mean, it's just insane. So he has these different events that are really, really cool on the property, because it's just like he's like, no, this is my property. I want to throw an event. So if like you're renting there, and he has in his agreement, but anybody that's renting or not renting, anybody who has it for the weekend or the weekday that's there, it's like, hell yeah, there's a party. Yeah. Who wouldn't like learn about tiki drinking? I have to intro you to him. So
If you're in that neck of the woods.
you're in the neck of the woods,
Yeah.
and it'd be it's outdoorsy, right? So people can be outdoors. They're still open, and yeah, I think
That'd be fun.
I think it'd be epic, honestly. I think you'd gain
That's
a lot of
awesome.
new customers, on top of the fact he's a very, very connected guy, like
That's awesome.
mega connected.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah.
I'm gonna have to look
Anyway,
that place
I'll
up.
send
That's
you
super
his.
cool.
I'll have Fratty send you his link and everything. You can check it out, but you'll be blown away. You and your wife will like have to go by there, and if you need an adult getaway and got grandma, nana, whoever, la,
Yeah.
We're
yeah. Watching
seventh month into quarantine. We need it.
There's number 3. Don't ask what you wish for, right?
Yeah.
Or what's
Yeah.
I better go see the doctor before we go.
Can't do it for about a month. No.
Tiki
Scratch that off the list.
Check that out the bucket list.
I wanted to ask Fratty, I don't know when this episode is coming out, but I was on the site, and anyway, you don't even have to be from a tropical region or specifically to love tiki, but just me being from there, I wanted, there were some gifts and stuff. Anything right now that you would recommend as a gift guide that's available on the site, like the glass that Fratty has, or those pairs?
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a new holiday glass that's coming out.
I think I saw those too. Yeah.
What else? I have like for like tiki cocktail culture. I have a cool mallet, which
I saw the mallet too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see that. I didn't see it.
Are the shirts too?
It's based on this one.
So
Yeah,
badass.
I need a Scof mallet like that. I need my head on that.
This is what it's based off of. This is the carved one I carved probably 20 years ago. So now I have, like,
Excuse me,
version.
that is awesome.
That is nuts.
Wow.
I have them laser carved now, so I don't have to carve every single one. I was carving them this summer, and then I got an order for probably 20 of them, and it took far too long to do them all. The new ones now are laser carved.
That is awesome.
For a game show, it's perfect. You're bonk. You're out of here.
It's most people know it's for smashing your ice.
Yeah.
We could have used one about an hour ago. Yeah.
My logo right there.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Put that on one of the ice.
Put one of that on. Yeah, don't be my face. Use the other side. Look at me while you're hitting it.
What about, do you have any wacky taxidermy that's available?
Oh, you know what? They're not even on the site yet. actually forgot about them. So
Oh,
these will be on the site.
oh
fairly
wow.
soon.
So good.
So yeah, and then I
my
have
gosh.
another one.
I'm
Oh,
joining
I
the
don't-
mailing list.
I have a blue and green one with like a really long neck. It kind of looks like Kevin from Up. If you cut his head off and mounted him.
See,
Oh
I
my
think
God.
God, that is so good,
cool.
man.
I had originally saw you at one of the first Tiki Land tradings when it was at the Giga Savvy
Oh, yeah.
building.
Yeah.
And then shortly after that, I, had been following you, and I saw the wacky taxidermy was where like I ended up kind of like, what is this all about? Because I mean, like from my dad's side, he's a hunter, so he has like real bear rug, real deer head, buffalo, all sorts of stuff.
This is real. I really
Yep,
got.
yep,
Nice.
exactly.
That is
And so for me, like I've always really enjoyed like that kind of, taxidermy, style. So then to see the like tiki fun side was, what drew me in. And so thanks to you and, some long
there you go.
driving,
there you go.
There you
I
go.
got mine up. So he needs some friends. So, if my family, wife is watching, I think it's tikitony.com and look
Yeah.
for some taxidermy for me.
Thank you. I have another like a blue-green one that I'll have out soon.
I love the what is it? The birds that's in the little box that hangs and it has like the
Oh.
different horn colors, or the
Oh,
bill
yeah.
colors. I've
Yeah,
been
thank
you always have those at your venue or your the shop when it's out and
Yep.
about, and I've always like had my eye on. I'm like, one day I will get you.
I will have I have some of those coming out too. So yeah, I need to update the website. They're all like ready to go and everything too.
Cool.
Very
Oh,
cool.
Joining the mailing list if that
Yeah,
is
me
is
too,
something
me
that
too.
when you get the updates.
Yeah, and hopefully
would
we
love.
send out a newsletter to about 12,000 people.
Wow. Okay. Awesome.
So, yeah, so we'll get we're going to start updating because we have so many good people coming on, like LC King. We got Schofield, my last name, watch company out of London. Fantastic watch. I mean, it's like they're expensive, 35 to 10 grand, which is not really expensive when you think about a watch nowadays. I mean, yeah, I was hoping the guy give me one, but he hasn't. So I guess.
Right, yeah, Scof. I got 2 or 3 of those last week.
But I'm a Schofield. He goes, yeah, my name is O'Shaughnessy or whatever. No, but I'm excited. So every week we seem to have better and better and better people coming on board. So who doesn't like a great tiki shirt and tiki cup
Well,
and
these
glass?
mugs, I'm totally
it's
eyeing Tony and
yeah.
oh my
Thank
God.
you.
Jose and Rosita.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I forgot to bring the mugs out, but I just have the box.
Okay.
Oh,
I was wondering about the packaging. I was like, I'm sure because they love all the drawings
so
with the
good.
products.
Oh,
Yeah.
thanks. I love package design and illustration, stuff like that. That's originally what got me into everything, but
Cool.
yeah, the illustration led to carving and all that. What
That's
was that?
awesome. I was gonna ask, does your workshop smell like the Adventureland Jungle Cruise?
It smells a little damp.
You
and a
know,
little rank.
like yeah, exactly. Do you feel like you're gonna get like some spirits coming at you at some point, or like
I think it's probably
hear like the drums?
sweaty Tony from working his butt off.
But it's like that classic like
a little sawdust. The whole floor is covered in sawdust.
Oh,
Nice.
As you can
Wow.
tell, like by the. So I mean, it kind of smells like I'm using pine or I like to carve
exactly.
driftwood, pine, whatever.
Oh, I bet.
Trees, whatever's lying around.
I think that's a new product for you, Tony, is the scent of the shack.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh,
I have-
it feels so good.
Yeah.
I've joked with. I used to do box sets, and then some of them came with like a little packet. One of them was like glitter, and it was like a silly little label. But I've thought it would be funny to have a little baggie filled with sawdust, like authentic beachcomber dust. People were like, is this a cocktail ingredient? What is this?
Right.
Yeah, they're like,
Oh my gosh.
That's awesome. I think Scof, you could probably appreciate the branding being
already did.
advertising, like I was telling them, like when you make your mugs, like it's not just the mug, you get the box, and then there's always like a drink recipe in it and everything. Like it's just so well thought out that it, to me, again, it just kind of goes back to that Disneyland magic. It's not just here's your item. Everything's been so kind of well thought out. Where did that come from?
Honestly, I I feel like when I was younger, like I I didn't get many toys or have many toys. So like the few toys I had, like they were very special. And I remember really like going through everything, like the packaging, all that stuff. And it made it seem so much more special to me. So I think even when I did my first mug when I was, let's see, 23 or 24, I found boxes and I made a stamp to like put on the each side of the box, and I had a little recipe, and it turned out the mug I had, when you would drink from it, it would catch air and gurgle.
Oh,
So I
wow.
made a little thing about when it gurgled, that was like the voice of the tiki talking to you. And I love like fully encompassing people to dive into that whatever story or world you're trying to create. But like it's more than just a product. It's like if they get something, they get to experience the full world. It's not, it's not just the mug, it's the whole story. And you're right, Disney does it the best.
That's the magic.
Yeah, that's the magic. I would imagine a long time ago, a great designer that I work with said, make things small, not really big. And now your things have to be a little bigger because it's like, because it's a glass and everything. But he said, make things small and cool because they'll stay on a shelf or a desk.
Oh, true. That's funny. Today I was just carving these.
How cute!
I've got.
Oh my goodness!
It's based off of the little orange bird from
Florida.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
Hey.
So anyway, so
cute.
I finally went small.
I love it.
But I would keep your box. I mean, it's almost like you need to bring on two. You need to buy two of them because you want one as a display, one to drink from, and then if the right guy or the right client walks in or girl walks in, you're like, oh, well, if you give me that job, I'll give you the Tiki Tony, right?
Exactly. It is. That is a weird thing. People have said they're like keeping the box. I'm like, I feel honored. I didn't really think about that.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really, really beautiful. I mean, it's like, that's what, respect, right? I mean, that's all about respect. If they keep that box and they put it aside and they put it up on the shelf, absolutely.
I know. Yeah, big time. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Well, what do we got else?
I think that's it. I think, ended on a high note there. And Tony, for people that do want, to check out your website and, where they can pick up these awesome mugs, where can people go?
I'm at Tiki Tony on Instagram, at Tiki Land Trading on Instagram, and then tikitony.com and then tikilandtrading.com on the internet.
Cool.
Yeah. And we'll
awesome.
Make sure we put it into our the end of the show and everything. And I can't thank you enough for joining us today. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. This was the easiest podcast.
Oh, and we're back. How you doing, Fratty? How good was that?
That was so much fun. I know after that episode, I was a little bit buzzing from all the rum, in my cocktail there, but I'm still cracking up about all the nicknames of Tiki Tony's friends. Remind me of like a lineup that like gangsters would. He's Tiki Tony. He's got his friend Trader Brandon. And Skipper Sam. Like it's just they're like tropical gangsters.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, you've been Fratty because of your last name, and in sports, you always get a nickname, right? I've been Scof my whole life. I was talking to a buddy of mine, Dougie Olson, the other day, and although he was just Dougie, he was like Dougie. We always had to have the
right.
full nickname for him. So yeah, it's great. I really enjoyed that show, and I had a few rums in me, and I really enjoyed the rum. And now all of a sudden, I'm a rum drinker. So yeah, I mean,
I think Scof. I think the rum got to you because I think that was the first episode that I talked more than you did.
Yeah, I think so because my tongue was a little twisted.
Sure. 16-year-old rum will do that to you.
Yeah, definitely. I didn't realize it. It's, you're drinking it like it's syrup. You're thinking, oh, wow, this is sweet and tastes good, right? And then the next thing you know, your tongue's going crooked.
And as you know from tiki drinks, like a lot of times there's like 3-4 ounces of rum in it, or of alcohol in it, because it'll be like 2 ounces of rum or 3 ounces of rum, but then all the different spirits that get mixed in that have a little bit of alcohol in it all add up. And the next thing you know, you've had 2 or 3 of these and you stand up and you're like, whoa,
Yeah.
paradise is coming to a crash
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. I had to stick around and have dinner and drink some coffee before I drove home. So, and that was a good couple hours. I just I'm done.
Yeah.
So, well, that's great. He's fantastic. And before we go, what other news we got here? I know we got something special coming in.
Yeah, well,
February.
speaking of artists and creativeness, so we've been, hinting at some things and maybe seen some sneak peeks out there. We got the smoking jacket, but right now we're doing some R&D and testing out the smoking slipper
I love it.
by SHAGBAGG.
Nice.
So,
looks so pretty.
yeah, so it's still in a little bit of an R&D here for it.
Yep.
Testing out some materials, some stylistic and all that, but we're hoping to have it ready to go with some other merch that I know you're working on over there with SHAGBAGG.
Yep. Yeah, we got some updates coming with LC King, and we're going to be doing some fun things with Jack King. And I couldn't be more excited where the brand is going. We're doing some great content work, shooting a lot of cars, and as in the ad biz and everything. But building the brand is so important to me, and I can't wait for 2020 to be over, to be honest with you. But it has taught us how to pivot. I got to tell you, man, if I've learned anything, we've done it. And and we're creating, we're designing, we're doing product design and everything, and now and it goes with our brand. So. And why shouldn't we shoot some great commercials on top of it and do some wonderful art exhibitions like we did with the Chicago 7 trial with Netflix? So,
Right.
Yeah. So,
And
anyway.
speaking of pivoting, though, I think something we should throw out to our viewers here and see if there'd be interest from their side. But I know we talked about it offline at one point, but how cool would it be? And viewers, tell us if this is something you'd be interested in, is making a old-fashioned glass that has the Schofield's Flowers facade of the old shop, the logo on it, nice gold rim on the top, something classy enough to enjoy your spirits neat, and fun enough to throw in a Mai Tai or something fun with a paper umbrella. So if that's something you guys are interested in, drop us a line, let us know, because that's something that we've talked about wanting to do, but we want to make sure people out there would want it. So let us know.
Yep, excited about that. I just saw Knob Creek had some really nice glasses. They
Yeah.
weren't as wide. This is a wider glass right here. They were
Right.
they were more narrow, and I had a drink last night at the cigar place, and I was like, the guy said, "Hey, you want some Knob Creek and my new glasses?" I'm like, "Yeah." And I love the feel with that gold trim. That would be dope, dude.
I picture in my head, it's like a one-dimensional, kind of going around the glass about halfway, design of the Schofield's Flowers facade of the old shop.
Yep.
In gold metallic, and then you got the gold rim up top, spin around the other way, and then could say Schofield's Flowers, written out on there. And then when you pick up the cup, right on the bottom,
Yeah.
Scof's head.
I like it. I had to, I'll have to check into some glass stuff. So I love that, dude. That's fantastic. So, well, all right. Then, hey, listen, this has been fantastic. What a great show. And we got a lot more coming up in the future.
Absolutely. We'll see you guys next week.
All right. See you, everyone.
Riding along with a song of a wintry fairyland.
I'm out of here on a one-horse open sleigh.
Comfy, cozy are we.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. Hi, how are you? All right, you ready?
Yep.
Hey everyone, Steve Schofield here. As you know, they call me Schofield's Flowers. Well, I'll start it over. Hey everyone, Steve Schofield here from Schofield's Flowers Social Hour. We're happy to be start it all over. We use my miscalculating on the one timers. We go into bleepers and boopers and whatever. Yeah, this is, and we're here. La Descargo is a bar. What is it?
Descarga.
Yeah, La Descarga.
Sorry.
I don't even need me. You could just do this all day.
Yeah.